Good morning, everybody. Elite Mobile Auto Electric. I am working currently on a 2015 Chrysler 200. Now, the issue with this one is that the shop called with problems on a battery drainage. So we got the charger. It was left on for quite some time. I want you to guys see something. Voltage is 1262. We got a good battery. Now, I want to do a parasitic drain test. It's what we're going to do. So I have my amp clamp, and it's zeroed out. All right, there's a dial right here. We clamp it to the wire, or if it has multiple wires, make sure you have all of them. And then our millivolt consumption is 47 millivolts. Now, I already diagnosed this car. Problem with this is the radio. The radio is consuming more power than it should. Usually the rule of thumb is anything below 50 millivolts is fine, but this shop says that in a couple of days the battery goes dead. What I'm using is the amp clamp and the amp pound to be able to determine where my short is coming from. So I have the fuse mini, and then the value either 15 amp, 10 amp. So I want the 10 and hard press that, and it takes me into this next step. So like I said, I already diagnosed this, but I will walk you guys through it. Let's see here, let me stand my tripod. All right, so I do have the amp clamp here. I mean the amp pound. Set it up. I hope you guys can see the numbers, but don't worry if you can't. I will show you guys. So what we do is, what we're doing here is we're measuring the current draw coming from a fuse, each fuse. So what we do is usually you pin these at the top of the fuse, you move to your another one, and then so and so. So I did this, I will save you the time. Back here there's a 20 amp fuse. Maybe you guys can see it. That is your fuse 80, and I will pin my lead here and then the following one, and you will hear that it has a double chirp. And when it does that, it tells you the draw. So it's 0.20. What is consuming there. And usually when you do, because I will be pulling it out, I will be unplugging it, and when I do, it'll drop down to almost nothing. So the owner does complain as well that sometimes he hears like static noise on the speakers. Not so often, but you know, sometimes he hears something and then it just cuts off. They didn't know how to approach this, but in this test right here, this 20 fuse is let's see here. It's this one right here, which is the F80. Then we go up here, F80 says radio. So the radio is consuming this power when there shouldn't be. Now, I left the car you know, I lock the door. This is a key fob, so I do have the key on me. You do not want to leave it inside the car. Reason for that is because if it detects that the key is inside the vehicle, the frequency probably stays active. You don't want nothing to remain on when the car is in sleep mode. I've left it for like 5 minutes, and I have made sure that we have no amp draw more than what we already have, and we don't. It's pretty steady at 47. Then that's when I decided to take a closer look to the fuse. And then if the issue would have been here, I would have unlocked the car, opened the door jamb, and then push in the actuator. If it does have a button to where, you know, illuminates your interior door, interior lighting, you want to close that and wait, or disable that somehow, and then move along with the interior fuse and do the exact same procedure until you find the culprit. So in this case, I already ran the diagram, and it only feeds the radio. So the client will have to replace this radio, and everything's going to be fine after that. So I wanted to take the time and show you guys the procedures, the steps that I do. If the car would have been inside the shop, what I would have done is I would have turned on the thermal, and I would have seen that this slot right here where my fuse 20 for the radio would have had a heat signature on here. And then another thing that I would have done is make sure that, you know, I don't have any heat signature in the inside, but since this car's been outside in the sun, can't do that. You know, hope this helps anybody with diagnosing, you know, parasitic drains. Another thing that you could do is run the voltmeter parallel to your negative and then to the terminal, and then you'll have a milliamp consumption through there. You do have to switch out the leads to here. Make sure you do not touch the battery post when you do have this, because you will fry the fuse inside. But you can do this and then hit milliamp. I think it's milliamp or millivolt, not sure. And then after that, you'll have somewhat of a reading, and then with the amp pound you would be able to trace and back probe your parasitic drain to narrow down. On these new vehicles, you do not want to start unplugging each fuse. Reason for that is because you're gonna wake up the CAN signal network, and it'll skew you over. You don't want to do that, so leave everything alone, shut the doors, and with the amp pound you'll be able to trace this. So hope this helps anybody out there with problems like this. Stay tuned for more videos, give it a like, thumbs up, and see you in the next one.